Hi friends, let us continue with the aquatic ecosystems. Now in the previous video I have discussed the different zones in general, right? Now this lakes and ponds are divided into different zones based on their light penetration, right? And also proximity to the land mass, and also about the nutrient content availability there, right? Now we have divided into four zones: littoral, limnatic, profundal and benthal zone. Now we will discuss this in detail. Now what is the first zone? A littoral zone. Littoral zone. Now what is littoral zone? Now the topmost zone near the shore of a lake or a pond is called littoral zone. Now I will summarize up, right? Topmost zone near the shore of a lake, shore of a lake or a pond is called littoral zone. Now what are the characteristics? Now this littoral zone is the warmest zone. Why it is warmest zone? Right? Now this zone can absorb most of the sun's heat. Now that's why this zone is warmest. Now this zone is rich in biodiversity. What is biodiversity? You can observe wide varied of flora and fauna. That is nothing but your biodiversity. Rich in biodiversity. Right? Now see here, as I already said, it is rich in biodiversity, so it contains wide varied of algae, rooted and floating plants, amphibians, insects and fishes. Right? Now the next zone is limnatic zone. Limnatic zone. Now, what is limnatic zone? The near surface open water surrounded by littoral zone is called limnatic zone, right? The near surface water, near surface open water surrounded by littoral zone is called limnatic zone. This is an previous question asked in 2013 UPSC. Near surface open water surrounded by littoral zone is called limnatic zone. Now, what are the characteristics? Now, this zone is farther from the shore, that you can say easily, farther from the shore. Now, light can be penetrated to this zone. Light can be penetrated to this zone. Right now, this zone is occupied by phytoplankton and zooplankton. Phytoplankton and zooplankton. Right now, this phytoplankton and zooplankton can be observed in this limnatic zone. Now, in this zone, by this phyto and zooplankton produces, these produces food and oxygen. Food and oxygen. Now, these food and oxygen are taken by consumers. Already we have discussed this food chain neatly, right, in structure of ecosystem. Now, these phyto and zooplankton are the main resources for food and oxygen in this zone, right, and this food and oxygen are taken by consumers of this zone, right. Now, this is the major usage of limnatic zone, right. Focus on this. Next zone is profundal zone. Profundal zone. Now see here, whatever the data we are discussing here is very much important, right. Profundal zone. Now, what is profundal zone? The deepest zone of the lake is called profundal zone, right. And what are the characteristics of this? Now, light cannot be penetrated to this zone, so this zone is called aphotic zone. It lacks in oxygen, right. Now, I will summarize this is here. Deepest zone of the lake, deepest zone of the lake is called profundal zone. Now, light cannot be penetrated to this zone. Light cannot be penetrated, right. So that's why this zone is called aphotic zone. Aphotic zone, right. Now, this zone lacks in oxygen, lacks in oxygen levels, right. Now, this is the correct one. Lacks in oxygen levels, right. Now, due to lack in oxygen levels and light cannot be penetrated, now there is no chance of photosynthesis in this zone, right. There is no chance of photosynthesis in this zone. Now, this is called profundal zone. Now, the next zone is benthic zone. Benthic zone. Now, this benthic zone is actually the bottom of the lake. Actually, bottom of the lake. Bottom of the lake. Now, See here, what are the characteristics? The temperatures are very cool because light cannot be penetrated, right? Now see here, temperatures are cool because light cannot be penetrated. Right, and this zone contains low oxygen levels. Now this is what, now we will be clear on this, right? In profound zone, lack in adequate oxygen levels will be the correct word, right? So that will be very clear for you. Low oxygen levels, right? Now the organisms which are inhabited to this, organisms which are inhabited to this low temperatures and low oxygen levels can live in benthic zone. Now mostly your decomposers, right? Decomposers live in this zone. Decomposers live in this zone, right? Right, now these are the different zones. They are classified according to the light penetration levels, oxygen levels, and their biodiversity, right? Done. Now let us move on to the next concept called eutrophication, the most important, eutrophication. Now what is eutrophication? Now see here, everything is interconnected, we haven't missed any point, right? Now already I have given the basic definition of trough. Now what is trough? Which is nothing but nourishment, right? Now what is eutrophication? Right, already we have seen different types of lakes: eutrophic, mesotrophic, oligotrophic. Now by this you can understand the definition, right? Eutrophication refers to natural or artificial addition of nutrients, mainly your nitrates or phosphates, to the bodies of water, right? Sometimes it may be considered as a form of pollution, right? Now if nutrients are in excess, right, more than what we need, then automatically they are undesirable, right? Now see here, I will summarize the definition. Eutrophication refers to natural or artificial addition of nutrients right? Likewise your nitrates, phosphates, right, to the bodies of water. Of water. Now once this question was asked in UPSC examination, exact definition was asked. Now sometimes this eutrophication may be considered as pollution, why? Now see here, if the lake is devoid of nutrients, then if it adds nutrients, then that is useful. Now if excess of nutrients are added, now this is considered as pollution. Excess of nutrients, excess of undesirable nutrients, I will write this as like this: undesirable nutrients. Now, this is considered as pollution to the lakes, right? Now what happens due to this pollution, right? Now your flora and fauna cannot live, right? Now how this eutrophication occurs, now by fertilizer runoff from the soil, right? Any other ways, right? Your sewage discharge, right? It may occur naturally or may be result of human activity. Now these two may occur naturally or by human activity. Now what are the main causes of eutrophication, right? Already we have discussed this: natural runoff of nutrients, from the soil, and weathering of rocks. Yes, now this is the one of the cause of eutrophication, weathering of rocks, right? Now what is other cause, right? Runoff of inorganic fertilizers, right? Inorganic fertilizers, already we have discussed this, but I have written this in a word format in order to have clarity, right? Now, these are the causes of eutrophication, right? Now sometimes it may be runoff of inorganic fertilizers, or due to erosion, due to mining, right? Many reasons, right? Now let us discuss about the effects of eutrophication, right? Effects of eutrophication. Now what are the effects? Now already we have discussed this. Due to addition of nutrients to the water bodies, your algal blooms will be rapidly increasing in population in the water bodies. Now some algal blooms are result of excess of nutrients, and higher concentration of these nutrients in water caused due to increase of these algal blooms. Am I right or wrong? Yes. Now if in algal blooms the color of water is observed as green or yellowish brown or red, right? Some algal blooms may occur in fresh water as well as in marine water, right? Now algal blooms composed of phytoplankton known to naturally produce biotoxins. Now such type of algal blooms are called harmful algal blooms. Now these are the effects. Now see here, I will summarize this. Algal blooms, blooming means budding, right? Increasing heavily. Algal blooms. So algal blooms will be rapidly increasing, will be rapidly growing, right? Due to excess nutrients available due to eutrophication. Am I right? Now due to these algal blooms, water color will be changed to green or yellowish brown, green or yellowish brown, right? Now growing of algal blooms is fine to the aquatic ecosystem, but some algal blooms some algal blooms some algal blooms composed of phytoplankton, composed of phytoplankton, they naturally produce biotoxins. Now biotoxins, so such type of algal blooms are called harmful algal blooms, harmful algal blooms. Now we call it as, in short, as HABs. Right. Now when HABs increase in the water, then automatically pollution occurs. Right. Now the next point. Now observe here, when these algal blooms, harmful algal blooms grow in large numbers, when these harmful algal blooms grow in large numbers, then it is called red tide, right? Red tide. Now see here, red tide, important term, certainly it will be asked in your examination, right? When these harmful algal blooms grow in large numbers in the aquatic ecosystems, right? Now they are generally referred to as red tides because they are associated with harmful and toxic effects, harmful or toxic effects, and that's why they are called red tides, right? Now what happens due to this harmful algal blooms, right? Now due to this harmful algal blooms, I'll write it as HABs, right? Now they release biotoxins. Now due to this biotoxins, they kill the marine life, right? They kill aquatic life. I'll write it as aquatic life, right? In general, this is the threat to the ecosystem, right? Now the next terminology after eutrophication is hypoxia. Hypoxia. Now already we have discussed about dissolved oxygen content. The continuation of this is hypoxia. Now what is hypoxia? The reduced dissolved oxygen content of a body of water is known as hypoxia. Now what happens due to this hypoxia? Due to low oxygen contents, your algae will die, right? Now and again they are decomposed by bacteria, and which consumes the oxygen in this process, right? Now I will summarize this. Now this is very important, hypoxia, right? I'll write the definition clearly here. The reduced dissolved oxygen content, the reduced dissolved oxygen content in a body of water hypoxia is known as hypoxia. Now, when this hypoxia happens, now this is the exact definition. When this hypoxia happens, now if algae dies in the water bodies, right? Now then they are decomposed by decomposers, right? Or you can call it as bacteria, right? Now for this decomposition, this bacteria use oxygen, right? Consume oxygen, now due to this the dissolved oxygen content will get decreased, right? And now see here, when dissolved oxygen content is decreased, then the water may be temporarily toxic, to aquatic life, temporarily toxic to aquatic. Now see here, we have learned some very good terms in this video, right? Now you have to focus on the concept of eutrophication, Now see here, I will use all these terms in the next concepts also. Every concept is interconnective. Focus on this, right? Eutrophication. Now you have to learn about dissolved oxygen content, DO levels. Now in the next stages you will get about chemical oxygen demand and biological oxygen demand in the next chapters. In climatic changes and environmental degradation, you have to know about this basic content. Now we learned about hypoxia. Learn this terminologies, right? These are very important. Done? Right. Now we have dealt forest ecosystems and freshwater ecosystem. Now we will deal marine ecosystems. The next concept, marine ecosystems. Now this marine ecosystems are divided into different divisions, right? Now you can call the divisions are oceans. Now this marine ecosystems might be oceans, might be deep water, and you can divide them as coral reef. Now these are different types, coral reefs, right? Estuaries, where freshwater and marine water combines. Now the next one is salt marshes. Now see here, we will discuss in the next video in detail regarding this coral reefs, deep waters, oceans and estuaries, right? And here coral reefs are very much important for your examination, right? Calcium carbonate shell formation, right? Now I will discuss in detail regarding this marine ecosystem in the coming video, right? Now focus on this. This video is very important, right? Each and every point what we have discussed here is very much important. Thank you.